Mama G here. This right here, this message today, is especially for atheists and those who feel deep down in it, in a pit or a ditch of a despair, hopelessness, hate, fear, and judgment. And whatever other negative emotions make it hard for you to feel loving and peaceful. Now, my purpose today is just to share my experience a little bit so that hopefully you will go and seek your own experience. Because I can't just share my experience and have you understand what it means to feel connected to a divine nature and the belief in a creator. You have to experience that for yourself to make it real. Now, there was a time when I was deep down in it and I wanted to check out. I wanted to give up. But I started to seek answers. And I asked questions and I'm like, what's this all about? And so the first thing that popped up for me was a documentary with Stephen Hawking, who is one of the greatest scientists of our modern era. And what he said, and I believe this, is that given all the discoveries that he's made and everything that he's uncovered throughout the cosmos and throughout the galaxy and the universe, and I guess that's the cosmos, forgive me, he's telling us that there must be a deeper intelligence driving all this, because the chance of us being here on this planet with the perfect conditions for us to live and to thrive, or at least survive, is astronomically, exponentially remote. And I believe it. Just think about it, right? And then I'm looking into nature. And I'm thinking of oceans, and I'm thinking of like collective drops that make up vast oceans. So you see those each separate drops together, collectively, making up that vast ocean. And so when they come in as a gentle, peaceful, rolling surf, okay, that seems like a loving concept. But when they want to be separate, those drops of water, I feel like it's that wave crashing into the rocks, and then you have water droplets popping off the top of the wave. And I guess I mentioned those metaphors, because I believe that we are one with our Creator, that we were created as an extension of our Creator so that we could co-create through the medium of love, which I believe transports light, which creates life. That's what I've come to believe. And that's what I've come to experience more and more. And so I want everyone to have that experience, because I feel like I will feel more peace if you feel more peace, especially since I see you as a reflection of me and part of the same divine creator. And then together we can bring more peace to the planet. And so how do you get there? Well, you don't just get there by me telling you about my experience. You have to have your own. So how do you have your own experience? Well, first you listen to what I'm saying. Next step is you slow it down. Slow down the pace. Now, if you have a hard time getting out of bed or even sitting up in bed, at least sit up in bed. At least sit up in bed. Take little steps, but do something. Because when you take action, it comes to you. Then ask for help. Ask for help. Maybe you don't know who you're asking the help from, but ask for help. And if that advice comes into your mind or into your intuition as something positive and supportive and encouraging, then listen to it. But if it comes crashing in as something that is only going to breed you believe more negativity, then ignore it. That's just your own mind and thought system telling you that you're not good enough because you're not tapped in and you don't see your divine and you don't recognize it. Ask for help. Pray. Meditate. Now, if you're like me and those thoughts come crashing, and when I say thoughts come crashing in, I mean crashing in. Like with the most surreal, negative possibility of situations that keeps me out of the present moment. Like I would just imagine the worst. And I couldn't control it, and I wanted to. I thought I was like going crazy. And maybe I was. And so I had to take it step by step, and I needed help. So I asked for help. And I tried to take more time for myself. And then I had to reach out to those who had already had a little bit more of the light revealed to them. Energy workers, breath work. Some people could just help me to breathe and to recognize my own demons, which are really just my thoughts that are negative. Okay, so I reached out to other ways of healing myself besides just taking a drug or going to the, popping some Tylenol or some Advil because I had a little bit of pain. My emotional pain, I never took any drugs for that. I was offered, but I found yoga. That's a cliche, but I found my yoga. I found my meditation. I learned how to pray. I believed in energy work. I became an energy worker. I listened to uplifting music. I get myself to cry when I need to. I write positive poetry and lyrics. I try to keep myself surrounded by positive, uplifting people, circumstances, and events and situations. And I try to focus on all the good that is in this world. Don't get me wrong. I look at what's going on and I use it as a diagnostic tool so I can be informed. But I know in my heart that there are a lot of good people on this planet doing a lot of good and amazing things. But we just don't hear about it by the few who control the media. And so remember that. And so I just ask you, tap in, ask for help, take that first step. There is a God. There's just way too much evidence from one who's been there and now here. I love you and I want you to love you too. Peace and love always. From Mama G.